Let's talk to God. One more thing, like, subscribe, and share. Come on, let's talk to God. Woo!
Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Cutler here in the Let's Talk to Cutler broadcast, the Let's Talk to Cutler vlog, the Let's Talk to Cutler virtual book club, or whatever we're calling it these days. And guess what, you all? I'm back without the sunglasses. So those who watched me the past week, the past couple of broadcasts, you remember that I had on sunglasses because I was dealing with ulcers or lesions on my cornea, and the light, especially these lights that are shining right in my face, created a bunch of light sensitivity. And may I tell you all this? My family gave me a hard way to go, you all. They joked me. I mean, I heard every kind of joke you could think of. The Ray Charles jokes, the Stevie Wonder jokes, and all this kind of stuff. And I laughed it off. But the good thing is that my eyes are getting better. So my thanks to those of you who asked and were concerned and sent text messages, emails, and the like. I appreciate all of that. Listen, if you're stopping by my channel for the very first time, let me just invite you to just hit your brakes, pull on in, give me about 1,800 seconds, because this channel, our conversations are about hope and inspiration and motivation, and stopping to see how we can show up a little bit better tomorrow than we did today. It doesn't mean that today was a flop. It doesn't mean that today was a failure. It does not mean that today went bad at all, because as a matter of fact, today went good for a lot of us. We're just going to see how good can turn into great. Today was good for some of us, so we're going to see how good can become better. Today was successful, so we're just going to see how tomorrow can be a little bit more successful. It's about doing an inventory at the end of the day to see what nuggets can I grab from today, what can I glean from today that will allow me to show up my best self again tomorrow. And that's what this channel is all about. And we do it in about 1,800 seconds. What we've been doing, we've been looking at this book right here, When I Am Overwhelmed, How to Handle Life at Its Most Intense Moments. If you want the book, you can run on over to Amazon.com and get it. Just go to Amazon and search for Gregory Brad Cutler. This is book number 6 out of 7. And I think only 6 of my books are over there on Amazon. You don't need it to join the conversation. So trust me when I tell you, this is about not pushing the sale of books, but it's about pushing the opportunity for us to become better. So if you get it, you get it. If you don't, I still want you to join the conversations, because I read the dialogue, I read what you're saying to me, and I hope what I'm saying to you offers some kind of hope, some kind of encouragement, some kind of inspiration. There's sometimes some challenges, so we can do some introspection, see, okay, what did today teach me? What lessons can I glean from today so that I can show up a little bit better than I did, so I can show up a little bit better tomorrow than I did today? I want to shout out the LTTC VIPs, those who tend to jump on over into the chat first. I want to shout you all out. Let's see who they are. MV says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you, my friend. I love the fact that we walk into the room and we just start speaking to everybody, saying hi as they come into the chat and to the virtual book club along with us. Then Annie Cutler is right behind Envy and says, let's ride. Why would she say ride? Because we're going down the highway of life and we're on our way to this space and this place that's called better. And for goodness sakes, we don't want to arrive there and find ourselves by ourselves. Who wants to show up in victory? Who wants to show up in success? Who wants to show up in this space called better by themselves? You want to be able to celebrate somebody, and you want somebody to celebrate you. So we invite you to join us on this caravan and just come along as we strengthen ourselves, as we encourage ourselves each day, and we're doing it together. And then coming on in third is our good friend Paula D, who says hello to everyone. Hello to you, my friend. I hope you all are well. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Please subscribe. I invite you to subscribe. And then after you subscribe, you can hit that notification button. The bell right there, it lets you know whenever I've gone live, whenever I've uploaded new content. And then please do a thumbs up on the conversation, because it says to me that you enjoy the conversation. It says that you are encouraged by the conversation. It also sends a message to the folk at Amazon. At Amazon, no, it doesn't. It sends a message to the people at YouTube to let them know that you all appreciate the content that I share on this station. What I want to do, I want to get back to reading because I promised you all that I would get back to reading. For the past couple of weeks, I've been sharing things that were near and dear to my heart, those things that I just felt some conviction about, and they were not necessarily in the book. They had a tangential kind of relationship with what was in the book, but they were just things that were near and dear to my heart. For example, this morning I woke up and there was this old song that was on my heart, and the name of the song simply says, "This too will pass." And I thought, wow, I'll share that this evening. I'll tie it into what I'm going to read, but I just want you all to know that some of the things that we go through, sometimes it looks like they're going to last forever. It looks like some storms that we're in, it looks like those storms, the cloud just seems to hover over us. And sometimes it looks like when we get out of one storm, we only get a brief respite, and the next thing we know, here comes another storm. But may I encourage you and let you know that this too will pass, that the storm does not come to stay. It comes to pass. One of my favorite passages that I find in Holy Scripture, and some people may just read over it, and it may not have a lot of context in and of itself, but there are some words that I read, and every time I read this phrase, "it came to pass," it reminds me that the things that we're going through in life, the headaches that we're enduring, the heartaches that we're enduring, they came to pass, you all. They don't come to stay. And I know many of us, it looks like we're in storm after storm. We're in roadblock after roadblock. We're driving along this highway and we run into, there's a roadblock here. There's a speed bump here. There's a pothole there. There's a detour there. And I know it seems like it, but the wonderful thing is that they don't come to stay. They come to pass. And sometimes we don't see how we are strong enough. We don't see our strength until we get through it and we get over it. But thank God we see our strength once we get on the other side of it, because when we get on the other side, then we can tell somebody, "Listen, I made it." And so can you. And so I was singing that song this morning. No, I'm not going to sing the song, but it was by the late, great Reverend James Cleveland. And the lyrics to the song went a little something like this. It says, "I've had heartaches, grief, and pain. And this one says, I've had heartaches like this before and disappointments by the score, but I claimed the victory at last. Why? Because this too will pass." And then the song goes on to say, "So bear your grief and pain, endure the sunshine and rain. What you're going through won't last, but this too will pass." And so I just want to encourage you. I'm going to get to the book. I'm going to read, but I want you to know it won't last forever. Sometimes when we're feeling overwhelmed and when we're feeling drowned and we're feeling like we're succumbing to the troubles and the trials of life, sometimes we feel like we're in this perpetual vacuum where it continues to pull us under. It continues to pull us through. But understand when I say to you all, it won't last forever. It just won't last forever. Yeah, Tracy, my eyes doing better. No dark glasses, so I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm still using the drops. And I'll do that for the next 10 days or so. But whatever you're going through, y'all, it won't last forever. It just will not. And one of the things that I've learned is that when it seems like a thing is going on, then there are some things that I can change. So while that thing is going on, there are some things that I can change. And one of the things that I can change is how I respond to it. I can change how I respond to it, and I can change how I look at it. I hope that helps somebody, because that just helped me. The thing may be going on, but there is something that I can change. I can change how I respond to it, and I can change how I look at it. Because that helps me to see, helps me to know that it won't last forever. I think about the season that we just celebrated in Christendom, the season that we just celebrated in Christianity, this whole resurrection and Easter season. And even if I can use the experience of the Messiah as a metaphor in life, when I think about 3 days, how what looked like defeat on the cross turned into victory in the grave. Why? It won't last forever. It came to pass. I think what I want to do is share. I wrote a poem in one of my books called The Third Day, and I want to share that with you. Maybe I'll close out with that this evening. But I want to go to page 104 in this book right here, When I'm Overwhelmed: How to Handle Life at Its Most Intense Moments, because I realize that as the seasons change, many times so do our experiences. As the seasons change, sometimes so does the opportunity for us to become overwhelmed, because the change does something physiological to us many times. Sometimes it does something mental and emotional to us, and we're not necessarily ready for the change, and it seems to overwhelm us. People who deal with allergies, as they go from winter to spring, and they find themselves in a coughing fit, and a sneezing fit, and a runny nose fit, and a runny eyes fit, and they just feel overwhelmed by sometimes, what one would say, oh, that's the slightest thing, but it has a major effect on people. But again, trust me, it won't last forever. Your heartache won't last forever. Your heartbreak won't last forever. Your down moments don't last forever. And why would I say that? I'm not so sure why that song came to me. I think things happen divinely. I really, really do. Because that song came to me as soon as I got on my feet this morning, and then only to discover that what we're going to look at this evening is chapter 12, beginning on page 104. And the title of chapter 12 says, God is determined to bless you one way or another. I'm so thankful that the Creator is not out to get me. I'm so thankful that I was not brought here and set up in this game, in this maze where the Creator is out to destroy me. But what I believe in my heart is that I was called to this place called Earth. I was called into this thing called humanity to make a difference, and so were you. And we weren't called here to be pawns on a board. We were not called here to be puppets in somebody's hand, but we were called here to make a difference. And because we were called here to make a difference, it gives me joy to know that God is not out to get me, but the Creator is determined to bless me one way or another. And I'm thankful that life has given me the opportunity to see that. Disappointments and heartaches and all of those things, one of the things that I realized, what they teach me is character. What they pull, what they build inside of me is character and strength. What they reveal to me is grace. What they cause me to know is that favor is in my life and favor is on my side. I wasn't created to be destroyed. I wasn't created to be defeated. I wasn't created to fail, but I was created to influence somebody's life. I was created to have an impact on somebody's life. I was created to make a difference. And so were you. I'm just trying to encourage you just directly from my heart this evening. It won't last forever. It won't last forever. And I know sometimes you say, Cutler, how could you say that? So how could you say that so passionately? Because I've lived long enough to know that when things continue, there are things that can change. And when some things continue, my perspective may change. My response may change. So I'm just going to go to chapter 12 and start reading from there. Good evening to all of you. Thank you for just joining. If you're just joining, just know that God is determined to bless you one way or another. I'm going to go on and just start with some of the reading again from when I'm overwhelmed. I told you all I was going to get back to reading. You all didn't believe me, did you? But I don't have these sunglasses on, so now I can get back to the reading. Chapter 12 says, it has often been said that no one can hurt you like the folks you love. While that may be true, what I find more comforting is a similar but completely different statement that says no one can heal you when you're hurting like the folks you love. Thank God for the people who love you. Sometimes I told you that when some things are going on, one of the things that we need to change is our perspective. One of the things that we need to change is how we respond to a thing. Some situations go on and on and on and on, but our perspective can change. So I offer you a changed perspective. So rather than saying no one can hurt you, no one can hurt you like the folks you love, take a look at it and say, you know what? No one can heal you when you're hurting like the folks you love. With all of the tests, trials, and tribulations that come along with doing life, we tend to find it a little easier to survive when we don't have to do it alone. But instead, we can find someone to love us through it. Having the support from a group of people whom we can trust, it fortifies us emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. When we feel connected to other individuals who are committed to us, thank God for people who are committed to your well-being. Thank God for people who are committed to seeing you succeed. Thank God for people who are committed to seeing you become a victor and not a victim. Thank God for people who are committed to seeing you successful. Thank God for people who are committed to seeing you a conqueror. We feel connected to individuals who are committed to us and are vested in our well-being We are less inclined. When we feel that connection, you all, we are less inclined to cave in and completely give up when faced with potentially overwhelming moments. When I know somebody is standing on my side and they've got my back, I can come out and square my shoulders and stand tall because I have just a little more strength then than I did before. Thank God for the people who are on your side. Thank God for the people who are committed to your well-being. When you have people like that, something says to you, I can hold on a little longer. I can stay in the fight for a few more days. I can endure the storm just a little longer. When there are people who are committed to you, thank God for the people who are committed to you. And may I challenge you to be committed to somebody. Be their strength, you all. Give them the hope so that they can stand just a little longer, so they can find themselves just a little stronger. Be committed to somebody, and thank God for the people who are committed to you. We can weather the storm when they are with us. We can face the challenges when they are with us. We can conquer the world and defeat anybody when they are with us. It becomes our eternal hope that they will always be with us and that they will always hold the same exalted place in our heart and in our life. That is our desire. Unfortunately, however, there are times when those who hold these exalted places fail us with their words, their deeds, their actions, and inactions. In other words, there are times when people betray us, but even the betrayal won't last forever. One of the most emotionally trying moments in the human experience is when we have to deal with betrayal. It really is, you all. And if there is anyone who can deal an emotionally crippling blow to us, it is the person in whom we place our trust and the one who we thought was committed to us and to our well-being. Cutler, why would you write all of that? Because it sets the platform, it sets the foundation so that you can look at betrayal and then you can say, thank God that he is not here to betray me. Thank God that God is not looking for my demise. Thank God that the Creator is determined to bless me one way or another. I wanted to create the backdrop so that we understand what betrayal looks like, so that we understand what it feels like, and then we can rejoice in the fact that the Creator is not here to betray us, but he's here to bless us. I said something right there and encouraged me if it didn't encourage it encouraged me if it didn't encourage anybody else. That the Creator is not here to betray me, but the Creator is here to bless me. This whole notion of betrayal. This potentially could have been the emotional state of Mary and Martha when Jesus did not hasten his journey to see about their brother Lazarus. It was their position that had Jesus been there, then their brother would not have died. I mean, may I just tell the story? Mary and Martha were saying, wow, you're the Messiah. You're the Savior of the world. If you would have been here, my brother perhaps would not have died. And to some degree, maybe they thought, listen, I thought you loved my brother. It seems like you betrayed us. The Son of God was the friend of their brother, but he let him die. At least that was their assertion and their allegation. And if the truth be told, you all, it's in the book. It's in the book. In this case, I would say you've got to get the book. If the truth be told, Mary and Martha are not alone in feeling like they had been betrayed by God. Many times we feel that through his inactions, he fails us, he forsakes us, and he betrays us. That's how we feel. Has anybody ever felt like that? You thought, wow, all of creation is against me. But I'm coming with good news that it won't last forever. As much as we shudder to verbalize such an accusation, in the epicenter of our emotions, we sometimes feel like God has failed us. Am I the only one, or am I talking to no one? Have you ever been going through something and you thought, wow, okay, here we go again? You thought everything, everybody, even God is against me. And you were afraid to say it because something in your faith says, I can't say that. But in the core of who you are, that's what you somehow felt like that. Because imagine how Mary and Martha felt. They were thinking, well, he's omnipotent, for goodness sakes. He could have kept our loved ones alive just a little longer. He could have healed our family and friends from sickness and disease. He could have kept all of the hardships away from us. He could have done so many things that he did not do. And his failure to perform the way we want him to causes us this emotional trepidation. We then begin to ponder whether God really cares for us or not. May I suggest to you, as in the title of chapter 12, that God is determined to bless you one way or another. I only have 1,800 seconds, but I want you to know that he is determined one way or another. He'll stop time if he has to. He's determined. And so there are some things that I'm going to read maybe Thursday when we come back here, that I'm going to read in chapter 12 that will assure us, that will prepare us for the realization that, wow, thank God, he's determined. He's not here to betray me, but he's here to bless me. And that whatever I'm going through, it won't last forever. Because one of the things that life has taught me is it is God's desire. It is his desire that I prosper and be in good health. It is his desire that all things work together for my good. It is his desire that there are some times that I will get the desires of my heart. I wish I could just stretch my hand through the screen and shake your hand and massage your heart and cause you to know that whatever you're going through, it won't last forever. It won't last forever. And sometimes it's difficult to have this perspective because people won't let you have this perspective. People want you to see the bottom of the barrel so often they don't want you to look up and see hope. But I offer us the opportunity to look and live. I offer us the opportunity to look from the bottom and see the sunlight shining in. I offer us to pierce the darkness with our faith and say, I see the light at the end of the tunnel. If I can do nothing else in this 1,800 seconds, I offer you a glimmer of hope so that you know it won't last forever. Many of you know, because you've been listening and watching, you all know that when I broke my foot and I lived alone and I hobbled around for a year and it didn't heal. And you said, Cutler, that year doesn't seem like a lot. It's 365 days of not being able to walk, navigating by pushing myself around on my knees and my behind, trying to get from room to room to take a bath and then try to get the kitchen to eat. That's a long time, 365 days. Only to discover then that the doctors really had not done a thorough job. It was not just my foot that was broken, but my ankle needed to be reconstructed. So then I had to go another 365 days post ankle reconstruction. Crawling on my knees, crawling on my butt, trying to get in the bathroom, in the shower, and still back to the kitchen, up the stairs, navigating stairs. But something inside of me said this won't last forever. It won't be this way always. Wishing and hoping that the people I thought were vested in my life, who were right there near and dear, that they would have been there. It didn't always happen like that. Things don't always happen the way that you think that they are going to happen. They don't always unfold. But what you're going through, it won't last forever. Sometimes we lose loved ones and we say, I can't bear this heartache. How am I going to get through this? Because they were so crucial and so critical in my life. How can I endure this? How will I ever live without them? How will I get through this? May I say to you that pain experience won't last forever. I'm not saying the pain won't last forever. I'm saying that pain experience, the way you're processing it, it won't last forever. Because you will always have the scar. But the same way that the body heals itself, the same way the body heals itself, so does the soul. The same way the body heals itself, so does the soul. And what you're going through, I mean, I could just, I can stop here and call it quits. I just want to offer encouragement to somebody. Look at life as offering those 3-day experiences where we sometimes feel like I've been tried publicly and humiliated. I've been crucified. But a resurrection from this is coming. I'm going to make it. Can you all just encourage each other? Just put it in the chat. We're going to make it. You're going to make it. I'm going to make it. Because it won't last forever. God is determined to bless us one way or another. And one of the things that I'm going to do the next time we are here together, I'm going to offer us some practical examples of things that we can do to remind ourselves and to assure us that we are going to make it and that He is on our side. I think I want to, as you all are just putting in the chats, we're going to make it, you're going to make it, encourage people, because when they come on, when they catch the replay, I want them to see that there's a quorum of people who will remind them that they will make it. I want them to know when they see the replay, when they catch the replay, that they're going to make it. From time to time, I'll get an email from somebody who may be in South Africa, somebody who may be in England, somebody who may be on the West Coast, somebody who may be in the Caribbean, who says, I caught your broadcast, I caught your replay, and your replay touched my heart. And it's not always the me talking that touches the heart. Sometimes it's them seeing the comments, they see the chat, and they say, I'm so thankful that you're not the only one who spreads that message to me, Cutler, but there are other people in the Let's Talk to Cutler group, the Let's Talk to Cutler family, the Let's Talk to Cutler community, the Let's Talk to Cutler virtual book club members who also believe that we're going to make it, that it won't last forever. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm just going to pop some of these up. I won't even wait for them to have this, just see the comments, but I want them to know. If you all are catching the replay, listen, they're telling you. They're telling you that we make it. We make it through. They're telling you that with love and prayer, all things are possible. They're telling you, thank you, T. Cutler, thank you. We're going to make it. Knowing it doesn't last always keeps us going. Yes, it certainly keeps me going. Sometimes it's just knowing, you all know I'm going to have to grab a tissue in a minute. Sometimes knowing that it does not last forever keeps me from becoming overwhelmed, because I know it has an expiration date. I don't know what the expiration date is, and I wouldn't sit here and lie. But knowing that it's not going to be this way always gives me hope, keeps me going. Thank you, Juanita. Thank you so much. We're going to make it through whatever it is, We are going to make it. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Linda. We're going to make it. Joy comes in the morning. I know it looks like I'm in sorrow. Weeping endures for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And sometimes our night season individually, some night seasons are longer than others. Thank you, Annie Cutler. We are going to make it. Thank you, MV. Thank you for encouraging me. You will make it, Cutler. Thank you for that. Queen of them all. Yes, you will make it. So you all, as you're catching the replay, Look at that. Everyone will make it. Paula D, thank you. We're going to make it. I read your email. I read a message from you. Queen of them all says, I love the replays. Love, love, love the replays. I want you all to know that you're watching the replays. Be encouraged. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to end it by doing this, you all. I wrote a poem some time ago. Let me quickly wipe my nose and share this with you all. In this book, Who We Want to Where, I wrote this poem called The Third Day. I think it's appropriate because it's right after the Easter season, the third day. But it also goes along with the fact that it won't last forever. I want to go out by reading this poem to you. And it's in this book, Who We Once Were. The Third Day. A 3-day transport along a corridor to new life. 3 days to realize that I am more like Christ than I ever hoped to be. 3 days of introspection, reflection, and thought collection. 3 days of self-inspection that leads to my resurrection. On day 1, it knocked me to my knees, nailed down my nerves, pierced me with paralysis, crucified my crying heart, gambled for my goods, and laid my limp, lame, lifeless being in a borrowed bed. Day 1. Things will hit you and knock you down and will do all that to you. On day 2, I saw no darkness, no light, no black, no white, no one, yet everyone that I had met while meandering mindlessly along a motionless, timeless continuum. Then I met the demons of my past and I crumbled. Like a delicate, brittle, antique image of an age-old aristocrat, I crumbled. I crouched and I cried in sorrow, wondering if tomorrow would be my friend. Still, I waited in anticipation, hoping to reverse the situation, hesitation, intimidation, verification, all positive affirmations of my indiscrimination as I lay. Day 2. You see, that day 1 was the thing that knocked you down. That day 2 caused you to wallow in it and wonder if it's ever going to get better. On day 3, in the midst of agonizing shame, I heard someone powerfully call my name, and suddenly nothing was ever the same. It won't last forever. Thunder and lightning began to roar. 1,000 oceans and even more roared with splendor as darkness gave way to light. And the demons of my past all took flight. The angels of my future had come to this place to loosen my shrouds and renew my faith, to empower my soul to re-enter the race, to mend my heart and give me more grace. Grace to comfort an undying heart. Grace to be thankful for a new start. Grace to make a conscious decision. Grace to complete my whole life's mission in just 3 days. Resurrection, mission, and then grace to unpredictably ascend. It won't last forever. It won't last forever. Be encouraged. It won't last forever. Do me a favor, you all. Let's keep building community. Let's keep maintaining connectivity. Invite others to join us on this Let's Talk the Color broadcast. Let's increase the size of this caravan and keep on going so that we can grab each other's hand and we all get to this space and this place that's called better. Keep your heads up and keep your hopes up. Be encouraged. Stay safe and stay sane. And know this, that from my heart to yours, there is and always will be so much love. Good night to all of you. I'll see you next time for 1800 seconds. Good night.